hello everybody, welcome back to Robot Tech. I'm Scouterson5, and we're here today with Beskar Snake's dog. How are you today, doggo? Doing well. Again, booty shots, that's good. Beskar Snake, how are you? We gotta censor that out. Way to go.
Hey, you asked the questions.
Now,
she gave you the answers.
Now,
so.
I edited 2 swears in the last 2 podcasts, and now I gotta edit. So much work.
Oh, hey, look, there, she's back.
Yeah. How's I feel like we haven't talked in forever.
It does feel like forever.
It just always feels like forever, even though I just looked. It was literally last month, but it feels like
Holy
forever.
Smokes.
It was actually. We had we're trying to coordinate with another guest in the future. I don't want to spoil anything, but so I'm not blaming that. It was up in the air whether or not we're doing it with them, and I just had to wait for confirmation. But so yeah, we're doing it anyways.
Yeah.
So if you're new, well, welcome. We talk about video games, video game topics. And this month we'll have a topic, as we do every month. And we haven't actually talked about this. I confirmed. Actually, I put it on the back burner for the longest time because reasons. But yeah, we usually start off of what games we played within the last podcast that we talked about, but give or take. So, Beskar, what have you played recently?
So I have played a little bit of Hitman 3. It's kind of a somewhat oldie. Metaphor Refantasio, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's basically made by the same people that made some of the same people that made Persona, some of the Persona games, Persona 5 and whatnot. Some Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which that game is just fun and awesome. A little bit of Ready or Not. Been playing a lot of that on the Steam Deck. And kind of the sort of the big one, Civilization 7 finally came out. And
you played it?
So then I have.
I mean, obviously, that's what we're talking about. But what do you think? What is your? Is it the same? Should I buy it? I feel like that's.
It's. So I've played a decent chunks of previous Civilization games. I don't have like hundreds of hours in any one of them. I don't have all the strategies. I don't know the little nuances. I don't understand a lot of the intricacies and things like that. But I would say that unless you're a super hardcore like mega fan, probably hold off. There's a lot of controversy about it with some of the features, some of the UI, some of the mechanics and things like that, and they have confirmed. Fireaxis has confirmed that they're working on that. They've been listening to the feedback. They've been, kind of trying to somewhat right the ship. Um, I picked it up because I just happened to get into a really good sale on it. But yeah, I mean it's fun. It's a good game. I like it. Um, but I would say that yeah, unless you are just a mega fan and you really want to just dive into the newest, latest, and greatest, if you have one of the other civilizations, keep playing those. They're still good games. They're still great games. You can, have a lot of fun with them. But if you don't, if you haven't played another Civilization game, maybe do a little bit of research.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, you heard the man.
No,
you heard him.
Please stay. We do appreciate you listening to this.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I mean, if I don't know if this is the first one in the series to get into. For those of you that have never played a Civilization game or anything, it's not a game that is continuous between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They're all standalone games. So it's if you've never heard of the Civilization series before and you think it's like, oh man, I haven't played the first 6 of them, you're fine. They are strategy games. They aren't linked together. There's no overarching
Storyline.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just bomb
you're
people. I'm
yeah,
just
you're
kidding.
not gonna be you're
I mean,
not
I'm
gonna
not,
be
but
lost out in the water just going, why, what happened in the other one? So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
if you've never played them, look into them. If you like strategy games, turn-based board game style games, definitely give Civilization a look, give the series a look. A lot of people have their favorites. It, it's a it's a great series made by a great team and multiple teams. Civilization 6 has one of the best menu songs ever. Kind of, I don't know why I brought that up. It's sort of just a weird, thought I had, but a lot of people made the joke that they spent $60 to buy this song and they got a fun game to go with it for Civilization 6. Civilization 7, the music is good, but nothing holds a candle to Civ 6's theme song. But yeah, no, that's kind of the quick rundown of sort of what I've played for the most part. Some other sprinklings in there as always: Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 8. Apparently, I've been on an RPG kick with Metaphor and all that, and there's another one coming out that I'm excited for, in just about a month or so. So I'm sure, depending on when our next recording is, I will either, you know, have played that or be even more excited because we're the time is drawing more near. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's like I said, that's kind of the quick rundown. So, how about yourself? What you been playing? What you
Sir,
been gaming?
you missed a few Beskar baseball. How in the world did you miss that?
So see here, I
Just
didn't
kidding.
want to break your no, I didn't want to break your heart because
Yeah,
you are correct. I
I'm
didn't.
looking at your Steam because
I have played a little bit of
sorry,
it,
I can now
but
check you. Sorry.
I have only played a little bit of it on Steam Deck,
Yeah.
and I have not been able to hit the ball
Oh
once.
my lord. That's why. There
I,
it
I
is. It is coming. It is announced. I think it's today. I think it's maybe soon. It
oh
is going to be
I
on mobile, by the way.
I don't want to date this, but yeah, I know exactly when it's coming.
I think it's the 5th or something of April. You could date it. It's fine.
I think it's in 2 days.
I think yeah. I think it's
I believe.
I saw it's only $5, and I saw the post. I think literally today, $5, no ads, no. I was like, this. Write this down, game devs.
Yeah,
Um.
March 27th.
Okay. Yeah.
It is.
Okay. It was. I know
But
it's coming up, but
yeah, so I
sorry.
can
The
pitch.
only reason I looked at your profile, by the way, is because I swore you played something, and I was gonna ask you about it. So sorry, I didn't mean to like check you.
No,
And
no, 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 you're good. Like I said, I didn't want to break your heart. I don't know if it's a latency issue with the Steam Deck. I don't know if it's a me issue because
it's
I
a
can
skill
pitch
issue. Easy.
it probably is.
You're probably right.
I mean, I can pitch just fine.
Mm,
I've in the one game that I played, I only gave up I think like 3 hits.
yeah.
Unfortunately, they did score on one because, again, playing it on the Steam Deck, it's a little clunky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
trying to get the ball and throw it in, what should have been maybe a double turned
A home run.
into a home run. So
Yeah.
that was a skill issue and not understanding exactly how it was
Yeah.
functioning with the Steam Deck controls.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I just can't get a hit, so I need to play more of it and
Or
really hone that
you
in.
didn't have Pablo Sanchez on your team. That's probably the major. I'm just
I actually,
kidding.
I
You
actually have to
probably
go back
did.
and I have to go back and check. I think I did, but
I mean,
but
yeah,
yeah,
you
no,
gotta.
See, I was trying to save you from breaking your
Sorry,
heart in
that's
saying that it's
fine.
the worst game ever. Just kidding, it's not.
It is.
I just need to figure out
It's fine.
the
Yeah, I bet
mechanics
it's. I'm
of it for
sure
that.
maybe it's not like programmed to be on Steam Deck or something. Maybe it's. I don't know.
I can't remember if they said if it's verified or if it's unknown or
Hmm.
like it works, it runs.
Yeah,
You know,
literally.
you can play it. Um, but yeah, I haven't quite figured out in the 34 minutes that I have played
Oh
it,
yeah.
I haven't dialed in the
Just
mechanics of it. But
yeah. I'm sure. Also, you haven't played in what 10, 15 years.
oh
So
yeah,
give or take.
uh, well, the fact that it is called Backyard Baseball 97
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I can't
and
math.
I don't well
I
no,
was telling you how young you are. That was a compliment. No, just kidding.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
yeah, yeah,
I'm a back.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Now, yeah, no, I'm excited to dig into it more and finally get it kind of under control and have a lot more fun with it. So
Nice. Yeah, fair. I've so sorry. I've now playing Resident Evil 4 on the PC because I have yet to beat it on the PC. So that's my recent, and I'm sorry. I did apologize right away. Sea of Thieves. I don't know if I mentioned this. I feel like I don't know. New season's out. We got pet pigs. We got. I think they're gonna have some more stuff, but best thing is pet pigs. You could have a pet pig. But this season has been, again, if I mentioned this before, probably one of the best seasons that I played for a long time. It's just seems like a whole new game. They added fishing emissaries now, so it's just like a whole new. It's like a whole new game. So been playing Patrol again because I don't really know the reason. I just wanted to vibe, just play it. I
it's
played Red Dead Redemption 2 again.
it's
Yes,
called
alright.
Addiction. I just
No.
re-downloaded that.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
played it,
So
but I just
so this past weekend I actually went to it's called Wild Wild West Con, so I wanted to get into the theme of, even though it's a steampunk, but still it was good. I think the reason why I did Bacharl is something with gambling, and that was like the only thing I could think of with gambling. I forgot the reason. I just felt like, I don't know. I just felt,
because you're
what
an
was the
addict.
reason? Yeah, I like gambling. I'm just sorry. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
Do not gamble. You will lose.
you, you gambled. You gamble with me on this podcast
Yeah,
every
every
month.
game. Yeah,
So,
so that's
and
fair.
I real quick, this is a complete side note. I would like to say
Yeah,
because you said don't gamble. You'll lose. The way you need to treat gambling is like any other form of entertainment.
yeah,
If you go to a casino and you take $100, only take what you can afford to
right.
lose, and you're paying for entertainment.
Yeah.
Yes, if you walk away with more, awesome.
If you don't,
Great.
oh
That's
well.
wonderful.
Yeah.
But going to a casino or going to like a poker room or something like that, you should treat it no different
Oh,
than if you were going out to you're going out to a bar or you're going to a sporting event or something like that. Anticipate spending your money
right. And losing it.
and only spend what you can afford to give up,
Exactly.
and then you should be good.
I
Just
remember
a little
now.
a
It's
little
called.
robot attack PSA.
Yeah, yeah. It was St. Patty's Day, so that's. I was like, well, I mean, I don't really have any other gambling type games. I guess I could have played like the coin game. That's technically gambling, but I was like, I guess I also could have played Red Dead Redemption because that also has poker in it.
I thought that's
Uh,
when you said you were trying to get into the wild wild west
yeah,
idea. I
yeah.
was like,
I
oh
didn't
wait, he's
realize
talking about Red Dead.
I didn't realize it until St. Patty's Day when I launched Patrol. I was like, I could play Red Dead that day and play poker in Red Dead Redemption, but yeah, I just kind of fool around, of course, just how Red Dead is. I played also real quick. Wordlets. It's I think they do have. It's just a AFK game. It's like $5, but it does have WDC DLC. So, and it is a free to play game, but the DLC. So let me plug here for a second because it's WDC. The DLC I think is only like $5, and 100% of it went to WDC. So that was amazing for them to do that. So yeah, I think it's the DLC is still there. It's actually $3 for the DLC. So Whale Warrior Charity Bundle. So free game, $3, and 100% goes to WDC. I had a free code because obviously I fundraised for WDC, but hey, $3 and 100% goes to WDC. I will plug that away. So basically, I feel like these are kind of sponsored streams for me. These are my sponsored streams, and I'm sure for you, for like Extra Life, you get those opportunities that like, oh, if anyone's interested, like that's what we love about charities, like kind of being sponsored in a way for our charities. It's awesome. So I said I was interested, and I think another one, I shouldn't mention this at this time, so I'll wait till the next podcast, but I don't want to. I'll wait until next time. But so I'll leave that. But yeah, look out for that. Sorry to plug me, but look out for the post, because I think
How dare you?
of like 10 cents of it will go to WDC, but still, like a portion of like these developers didn't need to do this for these charities, so it's really awesome to see. And sorry, last thing I promise will be there's this boss I was struggling with in Bloodborne, and I finally beat it. I don't know what they're actually called, but I called them the three dudes. There's three guys that were just they're hard.
Rushing it.
His try hard moment, but yeah, a lot of Planet Coaster 2. They have a new update, I think, just recently. That also, sorry, I lied. That that people will now, if you like build your water ride to like steep, people will now fly in the air, and it's great. I haven't played it yet, but that sounds hilarious. So I'm excited to play that sometime this week, or soon, or now, or again.
I did forget 2 games. One, just because you mentioned Planet Coaster, semi-similar. I haven't played 2 Point Museum.
That's how. Yeah.
But I did play some more of 2 Point Campus. Still really fun. And
I never got into the 2 Point games.
I've only played Campus.
Yeah,
I think I got Hospital for free somewhere. One of the like Humble or one of them, but I've never played it. But the other game that I'm ashamed I didn't mention, but I have still played the crap out of, is Skatefish. Just saying,
Skatefish.
It's still freaking awesome. It's still a gret game. I told my nephew about it.
We gotta tell bring Zach Pierce again.
It's just fun.
I just also want to have his reaction of meeting you in real life too.
Because I know I told the story, but I was just standing there. I go,
I know you.
I've seen him.
I know him.
And I tracked him down again.
We stalked him.
Over and
no, just kidding.
The man's just trying to eat his lunch, and I'm like, hey. No, I didn't bother him when he was eating. I waited until he was walking around again. But no, it was cool.
That's funny.
Heck yeah.
Anyways, great.
It's free, but you can buy out from the ads. So
yeah, fair.
Do it. You should
do it. Anyways, so let's get to the topic. I'm sorry we're yammering. Look, this is what happens when it feels like forever we didn't record. We're going to talk about music and video games. I've stalled on this for a while for reasons that maybe will come up in the future, but there was a reason why I waited so long. So I think we'll start with Beskar Snake. Clearly you have multiple vinyl. I assume those look like vinyl music. So, care to share with the class, show and tell? Even though
So
some people may not see this because they listen in on Spotify,
we appreciate you, but
but
I will describe them as well.
yeah,
And
in detail. No, I'm just kidding.
and if you are just on Spotify, you'll want to come over to YouTube for this because you remember the guest star earlier, the wonderful husky. Yeah, these were sitting down in this very basement for the longest of time. Never. Well, one day she decided, hey,
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna get a
chew
little,
them.
but I at least got to look at
It's
the
not
actual
too
record.
bad.
It's not, and she didn't damage any of the actual records
I would
themselves.
have cried.
It does hurt. It hurts a lot.
That's why I have them up
But
here.
like I said, I at least got to look at it, and now they're in a different room that she can't get access to.
I mean, not that it matters at this point, but yeah.
No, but so what I'm describing that you'll have to come to YouTube and see is the Undertale soundtrack, which is absolutely fantastic. Um, a lot of people have heard um, Megalovania and have no idea what it's from. They don't care what it's from. They just like it.
It's
It's
from
from this.
Undertale.
It's I can't remember which one it's on, but it's on one of these. Hopes and Dreams, great song, fantastic freaking song. But all done by Toby Fox, if you know that name. The next one, that she only got a little tiny corner of, because these two were together. They were part of a pack. But it's Deltarune, Chapter 1 soundtrack. I have not played through Deltarune. I need to get back to that. I think I started it up one time and I didn't make it very far because I'm like, oh man, I want to make sure I dedicate time to this. And I haven't gotten back to it. So those two, awesome. Final Fantasy VII,
I'm not
great
shocked.
soundtrack. This one got a little bit of her handiwork too. Not so bad as the other ones,
Been
but
so bad, doggles.
she's just a little doofus. Just our little doofus.
How much crying did you do? Literally, I would have been just
Still, there's
mad.
there's a permanent tear right here.
Oh
But
no.
I mean, that does give me reason to finally open it up and listen to it at some point.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
actually listen to
okay,
the vinyls, but
off topic, but one of these, the first actual, there's a cat there too. One of the first albums that I actually got accidentally was The Killers' limited edition, 5,000 only. I don't care. I opened it and played it because
heck
you
yeah.
know what? What am I? I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna be
No,
buried in this thing. I'll be
same
buried
here.
alive. So
You
I
know,
feel like that's
yeah,
going
no,
to the grave with me.
yeah,
So
I have no problem
right.
with playing. Yeah, like you said, I'm not getting these to save and to sell. Like actually the Undertale and the Deltarune, I actually won that in an Extra Life giveaway.
Nice.
Actually, so that helped raise money. Final Fantasy I bought myself because obviously if you've listened to any podcast before, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. And then oh man, look, it matches the hat. That wasn't even intentional. But Metal Gear Solid,
You had to.
the
Is that
the
on
vinyl collection.
8-bit that you bought it from? Where was it?
This one I got.
Forgot which one that was.
Now I'm trying to think honestly. This one I think I got through
Fan
Konami
it.
themselves.
Oh, okay.
The other one, and I can't remember if it was 8-bit or whatever the fan one that you mentioned.
Fan something. I can't think of it right now.
They did a Metal Gear Solid 3 collection, and that is when it comes out. I'll be getting that. That should be sometime soon ish.
God, you're making me look up Metal Gear Solid. Thanks. Did not mean for this to fan gamer. That's it.
Yeah, that yes. Now you can keep talking. I'm trying to
Anyway,
find
no,
where,
it's okay.
but that one that's another one that will be on the way eventually. But yeah, so those when Scouter mentioned that he wanted to do music, I'm like, I got some show and tell. I'm
I
excited
got
for
some. I think I
this.
guess no, it's not on Fangame. Oh, I mean, it is one of the Solid Metal Gear Solid is on Fangamer, but not the one you're showing me, unless it is. I don't know.
Is it 3?
It's it just says vinyl vinyl soundtrack. I don't know.
It's been a while since it might be the original Metal Gear.
It's the one with the metal Solid Snake, but it's green and it has snakes on it. Also, the records look. I'm not gonna lie, they look cool.
Yeah, that's the Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid Delta kind of so I do have that. Is that the multicolored one?
There's a red one and a green one. Sorry, like it's green. It's not green. It's like looks like green, but it's black, like a weirded black, unless it's just the way the photo looks.
Yep. Yeah, I know what you're. I know what
It
you're.
looks like a
about.
charcoal, but it's like a hint of green. I don't know. I can't do colors. This is why. All right. Anyways, but yeah, fair.
And then going, going way back, just because I thought of this instantly, right after the vinyls. It's it's related, but it's adjacent to the subject. The very first cassette tape I ever bought. CDs were already out. I'm not that old, but the very first cassette tape, and consequentially, one of only 2 cassette tapes that I ever bought was and both of them are from the same movie series, was the soundtrack to the Mortal Kombat movie. And then the second and only other cassette I ever bought was the soundtrack to Mortal Kombat Armageddon, the second movie that was made way back when. But those are 2 other video game soundtracks that I have specifically went out to On Cue, if anybody ever heard of that store, that pop culture store. And so I did buy a couple of movie soundtracks for a video game movie tie-in way back when. But yeah, I mean, I have more that I can talk about, but I'll turn it over to you since I've talked for the last.
That's fine.
What is it, 3 hours?
That's fine.
It's been a week later.
That's what happens. So I didn't bring it out because I only have one, and that was the Stanley Parable LP. That's the only one I have. I do have, of course, a CD version of it as well. But I didn't feel like to show it off because I only have the one. But because I wish, I mean, unless to my knowledge, they don't have a Resident Evil 4 one or a Bioshock Infinite one. And
those games have music?
Yeah. I mean, both of them, I feel like aren't. They have good music, but not. Stanley Parable is out of my top 3 favorite games. That is my favorite out of the 3. I mean, Resident Evil 4, of course, it's kind of more ambiance music for me. Obviously, like it's not like the Stanley Parable. Da, 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 da. I mean, that's not music. I mean, you know what I mean. It's more.
Yeah.
I mean, so I actually met one of my friends, Can Sandwich, who you may know. I met him through Blake Robinson, and he's the maker of the Stanley Parable. So I love the music and pretty much all of his other music that he makes offside of Stanley Parable. He does other stuff besides the Stanley Parable. He does dice something.
Dicey Dungeon.
No. Let me see. But he does Anyway, he does a dice game. It's like a adventure dice game. I can't think of it right now, but yeah. So I like where that was through 8-bit, and that was expensive, but honestly worth every penny. And I technically also came with a cassette, but not his music was on the cassette. So, Lost in Random. There you go. Had to do.
Yeah.
He did Lost in Random. Just brilliant work that he's done. So that unfortunately, what is going on with my camera? Unfortunately, I don't have like any other. I would say best banger back to back to back Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's just non-stop bangers.
I disagree there.
Yeah. You. I think we could all agree Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is just mint. It just really sets the theme of
every one of you that know hears it playing in your head right now.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
It's
playing. You've tuned us out. You can't even hear us right now.
Now that I mentioned Sonic the Hedgehog 2, it's gone.
But you only hear that music going on.
So it lives rent free in everyone's head. I really didn't dawn to me how important music was until I'd say one of the best soundtracks in a long time, besides Sonic the Hedgehog 2, is Don't Starve soundtracks. It's just it's so good. I cry. It's just so good, well orchestrated and well done. And when I see like some orchestras are playing it and stuff lately, and I'm like, God, I would love to hear this live. I mean, it doesn't do any justice, of course, on like YouTube, and of course not as well sounding equipment as seen, but I'm like, man, it'd be great. I mean, I assume they're like high school players too, so of course they're not as, how do I say this nicely, as quality as it should be, as it originally is. Of course they're high school kids, but still, like, it's freaking brilliant. And I'm like, yes, that teacher. Or just don't, like, what made me really fall in love was if I will buy the hell out of, I think really Don't Starve with that soundtrack really I mean, I'd say, I might have mentioned this before, but I'd say Don't Starve really made me fall in love with like indie games. So it really puts a place in my heart of that sound. Like, the soundtrack is good, the game is good. It's just hard as nails, and I love it. And you can now play with friends. At the time you couldn't, but I believe there's one time you didn't play with friends. So,
and even then, I still played with friends because literally, I've told this story as well before, but I got that for free through PlayStation.
Yeah.
And me and a couple buddies that, we worked together, we hung out together and stuff like that. We downloaded this little game called Don't Starve. Again, handed out for free. So I was like, oh, heck, let's give it a shot. And we would spend hours. We'd head over to somebody's house. We'd load it up. We'd sit there and eat tacos or pizza or whatever. And we would just take turns playing until either you died or you just handed the controller off in the middle of something intense just to get somebody else to have to fight the stupid egg bird thing.
I love
you
that.
Didn't realize that it hated you.
Everything hates you in that game. It's great.
Or you chop too many trees down and then you get chased by a freaking
Angie Beaver. Oh yeah, or Angie Beaver. That's it's
great. But yeah, even before being able to play together, we still played together.
Yeah.
It was just a fun game. Like you said, it's tough, it's difficult. I ended up dying because I accidentally shaved my beard off in winter, and I ended up freezing to death.
Yep. I actually, when the Don't Starve came out, I actually paid for the soundtrack, and I paid extra for the bundle I think, or don't like pay it. I think at the time is you pay extra for the downloadable soundtrack, and I'm like, yes, yes, I will, and yeah, it's freaking great. Yeah, I downloaded Don't Starve soundtrack. Yeah, I got the bundle. I just wanted to confirm. I was like, I'm pretty sure I did, but yeah, I was like, best money, and I want it in my phone at all times. I mean, it's not because it's on Spotify, and you know, while you're there, there's a great podcast called Robot Attack. You could look that up too while you're there too. But yeah, sorry, I had to plug. But I really like Don't Starve, and then Stanley Parable came out just like back to back of just two great indie games, and obviously like Undertale, another great indie game that you can't doubt that soundtrack is brilliant. I mean, I haven't really beat the game yet, but like you know that music anywhere. It's just so recognizable. It just has this different element of everything. I don't like Sea of Thieves music. I like the Sea of Thieves intro music, but that's about it. But the main music gets really repetitive. But yeah, music I think really elevates a game and just it's so good.
I
So
mean,
well done.
one of the, obviously love Metal Gear Solid, all that. One of the biggest hits of just tying something together and just really digging deep into that nostalgia element of a game is chapter 4 or act 4, I'm sorry, of Metal Gear Solid 4. You go back to Shadow Moses where the first Metal Gear Solid is played.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain instances that you come across where they'll do like kind of a little like audio flashback to the first game, and they'll play some of the songs and some of the music, and it's so incredibly well done that somebody who's never played the first Metal Gear Solid, you know, you might not if the first Metal Gear Solid you ever played was Metal Gear Solid 4, you might not realize what this is kind of harking back to. But you'd probably still play it and go, oh, that's kind of an interesting little scene. It doesn't really mean anything to me, whatever. But it's still, it's not. It's put in there for the nostalgic gamer. It's put in there for the people that grew up with Metal Gear Solid 1 and went back there, and that whole section itself is amazing if you really like that game and that series. But that music just adds an extra level of holy crap, I'm back here. I'm back in Shadow Moses on PlayStation 1 in 6th grade, borrowing it from a friend because I never heard of it before, and falling and beating it before he beat it because he let me borrow it without having beaten it, and then he was mad that I beat it before he did.
Fair.
But yeah, no, that music, that tie-in years later, not having replayed the first Metal Gear Solid in a long time, and then rolling around to Metal Gear Solid 4, and I get to that chapter, and I just go, holy cow, this just brings you back, just puts you back in that world, and really, again, just taps into that nostalgia chunk in your brain, which I know, our generation is very much, I've heard a lot, like, we're kind of the nostalgia generation almost. Like, we make things nostalgic too early, kind of in a way. But dang it, it's because it hit so hard the first time.
I think it's just, at least for me, for nostalgia, it's just you don't realize it until you realize it, if that makes sense. Like,
oh, I get it.
I was gonna put this, give you a comment for Metal Gear Solid, for instance, of like, it's very similar to, well, it's more of a sound effect than it is music. Well, I guess it's both music, but like when you're dying in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 of suffocating, that lives rent
No.
free in your
Nope.
head.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Same thing
Nope.
for
Nope.
Metal
Nope.
Gear
Nope.
Solid. When you're spotted, you know that I only played Metal Gear Solid a few times now, and that is still like I recognizable now that I played it. That's now a core memory of, oh my god, I'm caught. I need to try to hide, or in Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously I need to get air. So like those like iconic sounds really elevates a game to those elements. And
The amount of videos that we've watched or that I've seen that the channel has nothing to do with video games, let alone Metal Gear Solid or anything, but they use the alert sound effect.
yeah,
I'm not going to because I don't know if it would even come through or if it would just be loud for Scouter and that'd be funny. I could literally click a button right now. Oh, it won't let me.
oh,
Oh,
there you go,
wait.
sad day.
Oh,
Oh.
that's why. Okay. I see. Because I'm not giving Discord money. Anyway, um, that alert sound that Scouter's talking
I
about,
might have it.
anybody who's played this, right here when this pops up, if you've seen the
Oh,
first Wreck-It Ralph,
yeah,
um, he's going through the Lost and Found and he finds an exclamation point and it plays that sound in the movie. Like,
yeah.
that movie is a whole tie-in to video games and pop culture and stuff. But like you said,
Well,
it's
now that I
become
played
such
it,
a
it now makes
staple.
sense. Not that it
Yeah.
like, yeah,
You
like
you have you have that extra tie-in. Like
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
it's a very jarring sound anyway.
yeah, yeah.
But the heck again, oh man, Metal Gear Solid 4. Everyone knows I could talk about Metal Gear Solid 4 forever. There's a small little joke
Really
when they're
testing Beskar.
introducing there's a small little joke when they're introducing some of the characters
Yeah.
and they point out to one of the characters and he kind of sits up really quick and his head is shaved except for he has a strip of hair with a space and then a dot like an exclamation point and they play the sound as he pops his head up and it's such a simple little thing but it's so fun, it's so just interesting and amusing that to play those little jokes. I'll get off the Metal Gear Solid
Sorry,
podium for now. Oh no,
I gave you a compliment too for Metal Gear
you did,
Solid.
and
So
I
you owe
appreciate
me
that. I
now.
will.
Nah, just kidding. No, yeah, no, it's those aspects of a video game. I say like Resident Evil, you don't reckon like it just plays in the background, and I don't you don't really pay attention to it because there's all this story and all this other stuff going on that's like it's just part of the thing. So that's why like that and like Bioshock Infinite, just like wasn't for me for like the music. I mean, they're great. Both of them have great music, but if I were to put one, it would be the Stanley Parable because it's just so iconic and so well. Again, it's just brilliant, and even the silliness of the Venture line is just silly, but it's finding his music now offside of the Stanley Parable and stuff really put to like elements of like what he can do, and it's like
Now.
so yeah. I mean, again, that's where I also met a friend, so I can't say anything otherwise. So it's a good day, it's a good day as well. So yeah.
Well, and you talking about some of the games where you don't really notice the soundtrack. Like there's been games that I've played
Hmm.
even multiple times, and I go, I see like oh here's the soundtrack for it or something. I go, that game had a soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah,
I just don't think about it.
yeah, yeah.
But here's something that I've never tried because I didn't think about it till just now. And you mentioned like Resident Evil, Bioshock, things where you have more of just that background music. Go next time you play it, go into the menu and get rid of the music, and see how much you notice that it's not there when
Yeah,
it isn't.
yeah.
Maybe some games you probably won't. You probably won't notice. You never heard it before, so you're not. That's not what you're focused on. But I would be surprised like I said, I've never tried this myself, but I'm kind of interested now,
Now,
just
yeah, now I am
to go
too.
back and play a game and see, is it a completely different
I'd probably
experience?
be like, "What is? There should be something happening, right? Like, what's going
Yeah,
on?"
like I mean, because music can build such an atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, play any horror game like Dead Space or something. Play one of those without music to it.
I mean,
You know,
like for instance, one of the most iconic thing from Resident Evil 4 is where's everyone going? Bingo, and there's this high pitch like noise, high pitched sound, and it's like that high pitchedness really elevates of like the intensity of that moment. And it's like, man, I can't now that you mention it's like I can't imagine that scene without that. Like I'm just like,
oh,
where's everyone
I'm
going? Bingo. Like it'll just be like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. Again, so many times music, even if we don't actively notice it,
Yeah.
it creates an atmosphere or sound
Yeah.
effects or
Yeah.
things like that. Where, like I mean, sure, with Metal Gear Solid, Kojima and the team, they could have just made a guard yell, "Hey, I see him," or something, and it would get the exact same point across. But with the limited technology and stuff like that, I don't know. I can't speak for the team, and I can't speak for the sound design, and I can't speak for everybody there. But like I said, just a guard yelling, "Hey, there he is!" People probably wouldn't put that in their YouTube videos. They probably wouldn't put that in, just random shorts or Instagrams or TikToks and things like that. But the alert ping is so recognizable. And like you said, you've played, some of Metal Gear Solid 1, and you haven't played the whole series or anything, but you kind of get that feeling of, oh shoot, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
I have to right this mistake. I have to fix this because I messed up. I'm not supposed to be seen. But that sharp noise just really got you into that mindset. Uh, Talking about sound design really quick, going back to the Mortal Kombat soundtracks that I mentioned. I've never been a huge music person. I listen to music like in the car. When I was in college, I'd walk across campus. I'd have one earbud in, listening on the way to class or something like that. But the first time that I ever heard what you could do with music, there's one track, I can't remember which one it is, on the Mortal Kombat Armageddon soundtrack, where there's a drum part, and it goes from one headphone to the other and back.
Yeah. Like,
And even growing up as a percussionist, even growing up, being around music but not really focusing, that was the first time that I ever realized, like, what's going on. So I
mhm.
remember listening to that song years later, and I think I was going across campus or something, and I only had one earbud in, so hey, quick safety tip, again, another PSA, like with gambling. If you're walking along anywhere and you're listening to music, make sure you have one ear open at least,
Yeah.
so you can hear around you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Second safety tip of the day. Man,
Yeah.
I'm a
No
just
gambling and have the headphone in and buckle up. Why not?
smart smart gambling, smart walking, smart driving.
Yeah.
But I remember I had like one earbud in, and I was like, why does this song sound so weird?
Yeah.
Because it utilized both, so I only heard half of part of the song,
You,
and
sir,
then
would
that
like
threw
the
me off.
Killers then? I mean, I'm sure you
Killers,
do.
who are they? Are they a new
All
band?
right.
Did,
Thanks everyone for watching,
I
listening.
don't.
We're on Spotify. We're not gonna
The
have Beskar back ever again in our entire
hey
life.
hey, Robot Attack does not support murder. So you
Uh,
said the Killers. I hope they're in jail. Golly.
Anyways,
Uh,
so
but yeah,
what you didn't say. So if you were to pick the best soundtrack,
If you're still
oh
watching ads in
my
2025,
God, that's not what I wanted to do. If you were to pick one, sorry, click the video. That's
nope, nope.
Uh,
It's been great, everybody. We'll catch you
See,
next
you
month.
tested me, but if you, I mean, what is your take on like the best one? One of the best ones. I already said Sonic the Hedgehog 2, so I can't take that one.
You see, what I would say is the best soundtrack of any. It would, and that's totally the. You caught all that, right? You got
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Um, no, if you're listening on Spotify, it didn't cut out. It didn't. I clicked the little thing and I didn't say any words. That's so tough. I hate it. I hate it so much.
They're so
Um,
good though. So pretty much all your records, you'd say, like you got those obviously because you like them, right? I assume.
yes,
I mean, you won once, but still.
you're not wrong, but oh
I assume you
man.
didn't enter to donate to because you're like, ah, if I win, I win. But if I don't, if I win, great, because I love these albums.
Oh yeah, no, I
Versus,
mean, it was actually part of another thing, but I was like, that's an awesome bonus as part of this giveaway as well.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, but I like so many different games for so many
You
different
could take Sonic
reasons.
the Hedgehog too. It's fine. We all can
Um,
agree to that one.
so I would probably say, oh man, that's I
I
don't
did
like
tell
these
you
right
the
now.
topic before today. I knew
You did. It still
for
hurts
once
though.
I actually told you the topic theme.
It's like
Usually I
trying to pick
don't.
the
Fun fact.
it's true. He's usually like, we're halfway into the podcast and he sends me a message and he's like, "Oh, this is our topic today." I was like, "Dude, we're already recording."
We're ready.
Now,
No,
it's not that bad. It's usually like at least 5 or 10 minutes before
not
we
even.
record.
No, sometimes I just wing it.
Oh, there was the one, and I appreciated it when you didn't bring it up until after we had mentioned our games. We were actually recording, but you caught me off guard, and it worked, and it was
Yeah,
awesome, and we
yeah,
had
you're
a great
welcome.
podcast.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
thought I'd at least tell you this time.
I'm definitely not stalling to
Uh-huh.
do. I'm just trying to get those view hours in,
Yeah,
Scout.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
We only have 7 minutes recording, so
I would say we've only been recording for 7 minutes.
no,
Dang, we
no,
talked fast.
7 more minutes until we end. So
uh, oh, so I got 6.5 minutes.
yeah,
Cool,
to think about
got
it.
it. Sync watches. Um, so I have a lot of very fond memories of the Mega Man X soundtrack, the
Mm,
original.
yeah.
Just there's I've talked about that before. Just the game itself, I have a lot of memory tied to, and the music plays a big part in that. Also, quick shout out to another YouTuber, Smooth McGroove. If you've never listened to him,
Oh God, that's been a while.
it's the first I had been introduced to him was
Forgot about
for
him.
Mega Man X covers, his acapella covers of Mega Man X. I am thinking of the right person, right? I hope so.
What's his name again?
Smooth McGroove.
That's right.
Um,
God.
we've just had so many
Yes,
shout
he's
outs.
the bearded dude
Yes,
with the
yeah.
cat.
When I search Smooth McGroove Mega Man, the
Uh,
the first two things that come up just in a Google search, not even YouTube, is Mega Man 2 Dr. Wily stage acapella and Mega Man X Storm Eagle acapella.
oh, he's
He
only
it
40. Huh.
his Wow. He
Yeah, right.
is incredibly talented, really fun to
Yeah,
watch.
yeah.
He does a lot of video game
Stuff.
acapella and musics and things like that. I highly recommend checking him out.
I'm sure
After
everyone
you've
knows.
watched all of Robot Attack. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
I'm not breaking him into anybody's watch routine anytime soon. But Mega Man X definitely up there in the top. Final Fantasy VII, of course, I have a lot of nostalgia for the music. I mean, there's a reason I bought the vinyl for it. Final Fantasy IX also has some of my favorite songs from any video game ever. Um, have another uh, personal connection to that as well. Um, but yeah, I mean those have to be in my top. I could kind of cheat a little bit and say Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Ooh, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. It has real real songs in it, but I love a lot of 80s music. So those aren't original songs, but they're still great. There's just a lot of great video game music out there. Of course, Undertale. I like a lot of songs from Metal Gear Solid. All of the Metal Gear Solid games. I remember I had the main theme of Metal Gear Solid 2 in my cycle of music when I was in college walking across campus. Just
Oh my
listening to that
lord.
song just hype you up. Pipe you up, pump you up. Wow, I can speak English.
It's
Um,
okay. I
yeah,
mean,
no,
one of the things, real quick, is like also, and I say Don't Starve, also to add in the workshop and Don't Starve is DST. I think it's called DST music, and that just adds such a. It has nighttime music, which just adds a whole nother element to it. That's the one that I have.
mm,
That I think it's called Dusk and Night Music. So install that one because geez, it's so good. Yeah. I want this. I want it. I want it. I could actually download it. Oh, let's go. Sorry, I'm in the clear. We're in the clear, man. Sorry.
and we've lost Scout.
We're done. We're downloading this and
I will.
listening to it right now.
I will
They have it on a Google Drive. They're selling this for free. They're crazy. They're crazy. I would buy it.
join us for our listen party.
Take my money. Anyways, all right, we're done. Sorry, we're over. Thanks everyone. Comment
Yes,
below
thank you.
of what you like. Why isn't Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on your top? You can't call yourself a gamer if that's not on there. Yeah.
I'm gonna mispronounce this, but I'm
What?
I'm throwing a
What? A scouter?
no.
Do you remember something that we forgot we mentioned earlier?
No, absolutely not. I never remember anything.
Yeah, me neither.
But I'm gonna pronounce this incorrectly, but because I played it, but I think it's just Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy. I did stream it a few times. It's a kind of like almost like a Guitar Hero sort of style game, but you can play through the music from every one of the Final Fantasy games
Oh wow.
and some spin-offs and stuff. So I'm gonna throw a caveat, and I'm gonna use that one as one of the tops because I can encompass all Final Fantasy games
Cheated.
in there.
Yeah.
Victory.
I was gonna say, like, there's always Dance Dance Revolution, which I play. Everyone had Guitar Hero. I had Dance Dance Revolution. So and those music, and I'd say even Just Dance 2020.
Mhm.
I was dancing I did a Valentine's stream where I danced because it's going on a date with Scouter, and so like I saw that I was like, oh, why can't I? It was actually before this, but just for this example, I was like, why can't I purchase the thing? Because I'd purchase it this month if I'm playing it. I'm doing it for a stream for one time, and I won't pay for it anymore. And I asked Curry, or and because he of course plays it all the time, and he's like,
Yep.
yeah, they discontinued. Yeah, it's crazy. He told me they discontinued it, and he even said like those were like they did. I think the newer Just Dances you could obviously buy, but like I think he said anything older than 2024 or something that you can't do it anymore. I'm like, why? So it's kind of disappointing because I actually found a new musician through that game. So it's like, and that he even said it was one of the best ones that he played. So, and of course he played like pretty much every one for a while. So, yeah. So like, there's always caveats to some of those music ones that you were mentioning, kind of like GTA that you're talking about, because I'm sure.
Yeah.
You found out some bands that you liked because of that, and even actually another game that I played, I found out a local band in Chicago because of it. Like, you're just like, oh, this is pretty good. What is this? I will look into it. And even though they're like copyrighted music and stuff, it's still really well done. So, anyways,
I have one last thing, just a small little.
yeah, go.
I remember I was streaming The Last of Us. I was finally finishing up the game,
Yeah.
and I streamed it, beat the game, finished it, wham bam, stream done. The next like day or two, I saw a message that I had that there was a copyright claim on my stream, and I went, what's going on? What the heck is like a warning or something? And I looked into it. I was playing and streaming The Last of Us, and I got a copyright strike warning, whatever you want. It wasn't anything super bad, but they muted some of the game audio because of the Last of Us theme song.
Oh my god! Yeah,
I was literally playing the game, and there was an infringement on using the game's music while playing the game. It just I'm glad I remember that story because that makes a lot of sense in this podcast. But yeah, I thought that was very weird and interesting. So anyway, we have taken your time. We appreciate your time very much.
Yes.
And we appreciate you listening, and make sure to come check out on YouTube if you're listening on Spotify. So that way I'm showing
I'm even crying, and I'm not even. I would cry if
it hurts.
That cat ripped up any of my records. I would cry.
I did get to look at them though, and they're so cool.
Yeah.
They're
Anyways,
so cool.
Tell me about your favorite music. What kind of stuff you bought for records too? If you bought any music records.
Have you bought a video game soundtrack before?
Yeah, I had to, and I had to with the Stanley Parable. I literally had to. If again, Resident Evil or BioShock comes out, I'm sure I would, but they don't. But maybe I would. Probably wouldn't. Probably wouldn't. I probably would. I probably would actually. Just to have. But yeah. Anyways, check out Beskar Snake. He streams on Twitch, and he tweets once in a while. Actually, I don't feel like you tweet anymore, but he's on Twitter. He's on the Twitters. You could at least you could see his platinum journey. That's what you post about. That's basically, but still check him out because he puts up with me for an hour. Imagine that. So please check him out. He does this for free out of hard work and love for this podcast. You can't to the yeah, look at that. It's been 3 episodes now, so give him a follow. I'm Scouter75. You can find this podcast on YouTube under Scouter75, and on Spotify look up Robot Attack, and you could find it.
Donate to WDC
or Extra Life. Both of them, actually. Do both. Why not? Do that. Do that then. So thanks for all listening, watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye everybody.